Hey guys, it's me Chor here. Making a quick video on debunking Yuji versus Chainsaw Man. There's some problems with the scaling used. I don't really know Denji scaling, so that's why I'll only be covering Yuji's. So let's go over this. For starters, they say Yuji's age is 83, so I'm gonna assume that they're using modulo Yuji and just using his younger self for the fight, just for looks or whatever. But first thing we need to go over is speed of Yuji. They calced the speed of Yuji landing a Black Flash as Yuji's top speed feat. There's a couple problems with this. Sukuna dodges an EMS wave while weakened, fighting Kashimo that comes out to 6% the speed of light, which should upscale the Gojo and Sukuna when they're at full power because Sukuna was weakened during that fight. They only bring up Deborah, which is even more important because they leave a note when discussing speed about Deborah, who uses light speed techniques. Reading the note, Mahoraga being stronger than he was decades ago is true, but pretty much the note is saying that Yuji doesn't scale to this, but I mean, Deborah is also meant to be a Sukuna level threat. Yuji says if Senpai's grandchildren lose, I'll clean up the mess. What I can do right now is prevent anyone from interrupting them, and goes on to just clean up escaping curses, which means he thinks he could take on Deborah pretty confidently. Do you really think Yuji would say this if he thought Maharaga surpassed himself? He clearly thinks he can handle the alien with little issue. And that's the pretty good argument for why he scales to light speed, or, well, at least relativistic ranges. Deathbattle also uses the Beyond the Limits of Mankind in a panel right next to literally the same panel, literally says the burrow rips across the battlefield at sublight speed, which includes relativistic speeds, which can be scaled, maybe not Yuji's travel speed, but it would narratively make sense since he would be upscaling a 6% the speed of light feet for Sukuna to near light speeds. They also barely go over Yuji's ability to target the soul, which I mean is kind of weird ability to talk about since you repeatedly have to hit your foe to do damage, and it's kind of not really explained well in the series. They also kind of cap Yuji's strength to his dismantle yield that they get to 3 megatons. They cap it here, which is fine, but only one problem with this is that Sukuna's Fuga gets anywhere from 20 to 100 megatons, and that was 15 fingers Sukuna, not 20. There are also higher calcs for Yuji's dismantle. They could get into the gigatons, lower than what they gave Denji, but 4 to 5 times weaker at around 3.5 to 7 gigatons, depending on the density, which they do bring up, of the dust cloud. But the Burrow's kick also gets to 4.5 gigatons, which, I would say what makes this tier of strength consistent. I mean, they bring up dust density when talking about Yuji's feet. I mean, they don't give him Sukuna's feet that was done at 15 fingers, who he should upscale. They talk about how Deborah's light speed attack and how it could be achieved similar results, but the Gun Devil's attack would be higher and they would be right if they just calc the speed correctly. Overall, there are a lot higher metas for Chainsaw Man, like the organ calc from before, potentially getting into country and continental, gravity manipulation affecting the planet. You can make an argument you can make an argument about being relative in speed, but in sheer attack potency, Chainsaw Man, from a couple of calcs I saw, make this fight very one-sided to strength. With Yuji being able to target the soul, if he gets the domain off, he could damage his soul. Now, on a weakened Sukuna, it took multiple black flashes of his soul damaging attack to do anything. Now, Yuji was fighting a massively stronger opponent who was aware of his soul and could regenerate it. Pretty much what would happen for Yuji to win is he would have to pop his domain, as anytime he would try to punch Denji, he might just do no damage or his arm might just explode on impact. But with how many attacks his domain launches with the ability to target souls, he might pull it off. But they got the answer right for who wins this fight. I agree, Denji wins, but they definitely could have portrayed it a little bit better because they kind of lowballed both characters.